Hey guys, Figurecraft here, and today we're going to be going over the Medicom Legend of Zelda Real Action Heroes Skyward Sword Link figure. I got this figure a good ways back. There's one of the sides of his box. Here's the back of his box. Here's the other side of his box. And then you open up the box right here like a magnet. Here's the inside of his box, and then here's the figure itself in the packing. And I got this figure quite a ways back from Ami. Here's the bottom, or actually the top. This is the top of the box, and then the bottom of the box is the same picture. So anyway, let's get this figure box open, and we'll get the box out of the way and go over the figure. And that would be his stand. So there's the stand. And inside the box is like a red tint inside the box. And you also get a booklet of papers that has the instructions in here that shows how to put Link together, what all comes apart on him, what all don't. So your first little paper you have is this red paper. It says the name of the figure. Your second paper, you have how the joints of a medicom figure work. And in your third paper, you have a bunch of, I think it's, Japanese writing that I don't understand. Because, can't read Japanese. But you have that. And in your final paper should be the instructions on how this Link works. Yeah, there you go. That's how you switch up the eyes, the faces, getting the weapons on him. So you get that. Now let's go over the figure itself, but first we got to get him out of the clamshell packaging. So first of all, you got two parts of the clamshell packaging. It's the figure stand. So in the first part of the clamshell packaging, you have the figure itself with the shield, the sword, all the switchable hands, and this little piece that attaches the shield onto his back. The second clamshell packaging, you have the arrow and the bow, the little tuft beetle, the switchable eyes, the extra face plate. So we're going to get all this stuff out. Just take my time, be delicate with everything. This is a really old figure that I got back then, and I don't want to break anything. So I'm working on getting all the stuff out. There's the bow, there's the arrow, the bracer to the tuft beetle, the tuft beetle itself, the switchable eyes, the switchable face. Okay, I got all that stuff out. Now I just got to get the main Link figure. So there's the sword. Just get this out. And there's the shield. The piece that goes onto the shield that holds it on his back. His hands. I'll be with y'all here in a minute. I'm working on getting all the pieces out. And then the Link figure itself. Okay, I got everything out. So let me tilt this camera angle down. Let me just lower the camera a bit. Lower it down. There we go. Tilt the camera angle back up. Okay, the first thing, we'll go over the accessories. So, first of all, you get the sword holding hand, which is on this swivel system. And you see this little snaps. Be careful about these snaps. These snaps can break. I had a few break on me already, and I had to glue them back. But you press here, and you see you got a hinge there. You also have a swivel mechanism in the hand. All hands are like that. So you've got that. The hand that holds the sword, you can see the fingernails are in there, well sculpted detail. So you have that. You have the shield holding hand. All the detail on the glove. So you have the sword and shield hand. You have two fist hands, like punching hands. Me, if you sit here and I get this thing focused. So you got two fist hands. You have a hand for the arrow. And then you have a hand for the bow. I keep the hand for the bow on the bow because this thing is hard to get on and off. You also get the goddess bow. You get the goddess bow. A lot of great detail in this bow. It even has a real string. You get the little bracer, or the bracelet, for the tough beetle. And then you also get the tough beetle itself. There's the tough beetle. And it just sits on top of the little bracelet, like in the game. You get the extra faceplate. You get a set of extra eyes. Eyes number 3 and eyes number 4. You get this little doohickey. This is used for putting the shield onto Link's back. You get the Master Sword. It's got some good paint textures here. You get the shield. This will come off, and this will come off. I'll show you that in a few. You get the arrow. Very flimsy arrow. This plastic is very flimsy, you can see. This will be easily broke if not careful. You get the little stand piece. Works like kind of like Player's kind of way, only a little bit different. Opens up a claw. You got a swivel right here. You have a hinge right here. You got a swivel right back here. You have another hinge right here. You have a swivel right here. You have another hinge right here. And then there's another swivel right there. And then here is the stand itself. So you just plug this in. And then you can see there. I'll focus it in a minute. But yeah, you see there, that's the medicom stand. There's a whole lot of articulation in this stand. And then the main thing that we'll be going over is the Link figure, so let me just focus on him. Here's the sculpt in Link's face. This is the Skyward Sword Medicom Real Action Heroes Link. The chainmail is a little piece of chainmail. Let me see if I can show it. There it is. It's just a little triangle that's glued onto the shirt. That makes it look like a whole piece of chainmail. It's not a whole piece of chainmail. And the same thing over here with these sleeves. When I move these up enough to show you. Just give me a few seconds here. I'm working with it. There it is. It's not a whole piece of chainmail. It's just on the bicep itself, which makes it look whole. And then the same thing down here below the tunic with this little, it's almost like a skirt piece. You can see it's not a whole piece of chainmail. It's just little pieces. And the thing about my chainmail is when you first get the Link figure, the chainmail is so tight on him that you cannot get no posability, no movability, nothing. They basically did like a false advertisement when you first ordered it because the chainmail is so tight on him. So what I did with mine is on here, there's like this glue. I ripped the glue and I found these two holes right here. And I took a needle and thread, stabbed the needle right through here, tied the black thread here, fed it through that loophole right there. And this gives you more movability with the chainmail than what you will have when you first get it. You don't have to do this. This is just something that I did. And with that, the chainmail can now go up, or if I wanted to, I can pull the chainmail a little bit more down. So with that, I can move the chainmail out of the way and get more posability in these legs. But anyway, let me just show you here. The articulation in Link, you got a head tilt. You got a separate joint in the neck and the head. You have turning in the head. Look backwards about that, forward about like that. The shoulders, you got ball pegs with butterfly joints in here. So there's ball pegs and butterfly joints. So you got some pretty good movability. You can go pretty far forward, pretty far back. Move up and down. You have swivel in the bicep area. You have a single hinge bending elbow. Then the same thing like I showed you with the hands. You have swivels in the hands. And then if you can find them, you have those, there you are. You have those hinges in the wrist. You've got some ab crunch right up in here. So Link's got some ab crunch, can go forward about like that far. He can go backward about like that far. He can have some rockage. He has a joint down here in the waist, so he can move forward and side to side in the waist. He can turn side to side in the waist. The legs, he has a swivel at the top of the thigh. He can go forward about like that much. It'll be hindered on you though, unless you do the thing like I did with the chainmail, because the chainmail will really hinder the articulation. But where I did that thing with the chainmail, it allows it to be loose and give you more articulation. So he can go about like that. He has double jointed knees almost. So he can bend his knees about that far. He can kick out about that far. It'll be really hindered with the chainmail. And then down here in the foot, you have a swivel, and then you got like these little, there you go, you got like these little side to side pivots in the foot. So yeah, you got some pretty good articulation. And in Link's hat, you have a hinge in Link's hat, and there's also a swivel in Link's hat. So you got some pretty good articulation in this Link figure. He's really articulate. Let me just put this phone up a bit, back to the height, and get this going here. We're going to try to get some more of him in the view. He's just such a big figure, it's hard to work with and get him all in the camera. But yeah, he's got real clothes. He has the velvet fur. Unlike the actual shirt material when they first advertised him when he was coming out. The belts you want to be careful with. I'll show it right here. The belts are a rubbery plastic, which will easily rip if you're not careful. They're textured so well that they look like they're real leather, but they're not. They're like a PVC plastic in a way, I think. And they do lose paint. Right here you can see he's lost some paint there. The detail in the chainmail is really amazing. It looks like actual real metal rings, but it's just imprinted in there. They probably made this with a 3D printer, and it's like a rubbery material with chainmail imprinted on it. Same thing for right up in here, in the sleeves and in the chest area. But yeah, he's got some really good posability. But I'll go ahead and I'll end the video right here, and there'll be a 2-part video to this, and when I come back in the second part, we'll be going over what all poses this figure can go in. I'll try to go over everything that I can, so stay tuned for that video. But until part 2, y'all have a blessed one.